Hey everybody, this is Megan McMillan and we're here at EatMybeats headquarters in Tuscaloosa, Alabama with our EMB Artist Series on YouTube. And today I've got Andy Branton here. We're going to ask Andy some really uncomfortable questions and see how much we can make him squirm. Are you ready?
I don't squirm easily.
You don't? Okay, well we're not going to test that out. It would not be appropriate for the viewing audience, okay? First of all, I just want to know what made you start playing music. I mean, how old were you? Why did you start to play music? What triggered all the rest of this stuff?
I guess I was 5. My grandmother played like what you call stride piano. Mm-hmm. I guess it's like the best description I have for it. Mm-hmm. By ear.
Yeah.
Everything in F sharp. Everything.
Yeah.
So, a nightmare to play along with as I got older. But she painted like this ivory key piano from like 1909 or so that I have it now. But she painted it and put like stickers from Dollar General, like the letter names, A, B, C, D, blah, blah. And then color coded for like chords. Yeah. And she would write out little charts to like gospel tunes for us to, my brother and I, to learn.
Awesome, awesome. What is it about the grandmothers all playing piano by ear? Mine does that also, and it's the same thing, it's the same gospel progression that she does for every single song, and it's a granny thing, I think.
Well, I mean, she really liked Mickey Gilley too.
Yeah.
So I mean, we had some gospel stuff, and then also If I Said a Rose to You.
Right. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. So where are you from?
I'm from a small place outside of Athens, Alabama, which is also not kind of a smallish place. In North Alabama, it's called Coxie or Clements, however you want to refer to it.
Okay. All right. I prefer Coxie, I think.
Most of us do.
Yeah, I do. So that's pretty close to Muscle Shoals, Florence area. Were you influenced at all by that scene?
I mean, yeah, I think once I was conscious that, like what had taken place and what was taking place. I mean, I'm by no means gonna say that Florence or Muscle Shoals is anywhere near where they were back when hit records were being cut every day. But it's still a great scene. It's kind of hard to find places to play, but real deal guys who play do this for a living live there and work there.
Right.
And some guys who are just super duper respected in the community, maybe you've never even heard of them, but are real deal guys, and they've been really nice to me over there. People that I have met and have known. I've got friends that have worked at Fame and whatnot. So
that's awesome.
There are connections there.
All right, so we know that you started on piano, but you moved to guitar. You did that for what reason?
My older brother.
Okay.
I wanted to be like him.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
Got
to aspire to something.
That's good. You do. You do. Okay, so how old were you when you started playing guitar?
I was 13, I think. Yeah.
And that kind of coincided with the songwriting, or no?
No. I wrote like my first really awful song at like 15 maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. It's better than writing your first awful song at 21 like I did.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. High five.
High five. Absolutely. All right. So, when you started songwriting, what were your songs about?
I don't really want to talk about that.
Was it the usual 15-year-old thing, or were you more mature than other 15-year-olds?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, my mother said I was.
Well, I can kind of see that. I can definitely see that.
I mean, I don't know. I was definitely living, a lot different life than people I've, met who play music. Like I grew up, like we had cattle from like 2001, so how old I was in 2001 and on, and so it's a little bit different experience. I don't know if that means more mature. I don't really know.
More responsibility, maybe?
Maybe. I don't really care, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
I mean, I think it was, pretty typical like crap when I was 15, and then at 17 or 18. I don't know if it was still typical. I think it was better. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's the point. Always get better, man.
Right.
Yeah, whatever you're writing about. So influences, as far as your songwriting goes and your particular style on guitar, I've always been a fan of your particular style of guitar playing, okay? Because you meet these guitar players, there are tons of great guitar players out there, but I really am a fan of your style. So what influenced that?
I mean, there are a few things. So, early on, it was like the typical stuff, right, that all teenage guitar players seem to get into. Like the Allman Brothers bands, I had Live at Fillmore East. Little Feat, I had Waiting for Columbus, I think is the live record on that one. I had that record. Live at the Regal, super into Clapton. and Derek and the Dominoes and all that, rock and roll guitar, right? So I turned, I guess maybe 16, and I heard Guy Clark for the first time, and that's like opened up this whole like Texas scene to me, where the guitar playing's different. I'm not gonna say better or worse, it's just different.
Right.
And that crept in there, and I decided that maybe I actually like country music. I don't know.
Who knew?
I was like a rock and roller,
Yeah.
And then when I was about 17 or 18, a guy named Jim Cavender like asked me why I was playing something the way I was, and I was playing it awfully. I'm like I'll tell you right now, it was not going well.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you just like try something different, And so I threw my pick away, and I can still play with a pick for like session work if I have to, but I don't use a pick.
Yeah, I've heard people comment on the fact that you never use a pick.
People ask about it a lot.
Yeah, I think it kind of disturbs some people.
It does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. And there's a precedent for that. Like people who don't use picks. I'm like something crazy, like real deal famous guitar players. But I don't know. I find it way easier, and I play a lot differently. So if you hire Andy Branton, I can do what you want me to do, but you get Andy Branton.
Right. So if I were to hire you to come play guitar for me, would I have to pay extra for the pick? No. Well, that's good to know.
I
for
used to do
future
Hicktown,
Yeah.
which I'm not big into that song, but I had to do it, whatever. And like I had to use a pick on it because I don't know, I just had to. It was like super hard not to. So, so no, the pick is, if the pick has to be done. Now, if you request the pick, yeah. But if you don't request the pick, we can probably.
Right. Okay. I'll
probably
remember
waive
that for
that
sure.
one. Yeah.
Remember that, people. If you want to hire Andy, I think he's probably going to charge you extra for the pick. I'm just saying. All right, so we had talked earlier about having to describe yourself, because basically when you go out and you're trying to book a gig for yourself, you are, for a lack of a better term, you're selling yourself, okay? Hopefully not the same way, you're selling yourself out on the streets.
Right.
We're not doing that. We're not selling our
Unless you're
bodies.
busking.
Unless you're busking, then you really are selling yourself.
Out in the streets.
Yeah, on the street, on the corner. But when you are selling yourself to a venue or a talent buyer or whatever it may be, you have to describe your sound. You have to describe what it is that you do, and you have to do it kind of like in an elevator pitch. You have to have something quick. You have to have a term. What do you say when you're out trying to book a gig for yourself and they ask, well, what do you do?
I tell them I'm an Americana artist, because it's a big umbrella.
Yeah.
So it can mean a lot of things.
And you can go into deeper detail if you need to.
Absolutely.
From that point.
If you're interested, I've got plenty more to say about that. But in this industry, at the level that I'm at in my career, you have to do tons of stuff. So like last Monday, I did a session. I helped a lady finish a song, helped her finish the song.
Right.
Right. Cut the song here. I played guitar on it and I guess produced it basically. So I do that. I teach lessons. I play live gigs. I write my own stuff. You have to do everything. Like you show up and you play a bar gig, you've got to play, some things, right?
Yeah.
You've got to hit the genres, and you've got to go, if some guy comes up to you and he wants to hear, Prince, you need to be able to do something.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to do that
Something
one,
comparable,
but something, right. So it's like, how do you describe to a guy who doesn't play or plays for a hobby that this is what you do? And they're like, oh, sure, sure. I'm like, no, really, come hang out.
You can do the artist thing, and then you can take requests. You can play rock, country, blues, whatever you need to play.
Blues to funky.
Right, hey,
There we go.
extra funky. I like that. Okay, so describe to me your dream gig, okay? If it just fell out of the sky, and we had, once again, we've talked about this earlier, and it's one of those things that I can think of 20. You know what I mean?
Right.
And really, but if there was one thing that you could say, you got one more day to play guitar for a living, you got one gig, what would it be?
Man. See, that's not at all what I was thinking. One, you got this is like the last gig before you die.
The day after you're getting hit by a beer truck and you're dead. So what's the gig before the beer truck?
Oh man. That's hard.
It's too much, right? Would it be a solo gig?
No, I tell you
would
what
not.
I tell you what it would be. It would be in one of those like award show bands for like the Americana Music Awards or something where Buddy Miller or who's that guy from Detroit? It's gonna come to me later. But they're like the band leader, so it's gonna be like he's playing bass and Miller's playing guitar, and then the guy that played with Dylan and with Levon Helm, who plays like pedal steel and also guitar and whatnot, he'd be playing pedal steel.
Yeah.
And then who would we have on drums? I don't know. Milton Sledge, like who's like a great session player, like lives on like the street I grew up on now. So I don't know. Milton wanted to come play. I guess it'd be cool to hang out with a guy from the same area as me. I don't know.
Yeah.
On the last day before the beer truck.
Yeah.
And then somebody's got to play keys. I don't know.
Somebody's got to play keys.
Somebody's got to play keys. Oh, the guy from the Zach Brown band that played for a while with the Marsh Tucker band, and then wrote some tunes with John Mayer. Cook, I think is his last name, maybe. I want him playing organ.
Okay. All right, I'll remember that. In case this ever happens, in case this situation ever comes up,
The
we'll know where to
Make-A-Wish
start.
Foundation.
Yes, we'll know where to start.
It's like making a lot of phone calls.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got you covered. Okay, so being a musician that plays, mostly you get most of your income from playing in bars, right? Playing in clubs. That's just how you make a living. What's the hardest part of doing that?
I mean, it's all got its. Every step of the way has, difficulties. The hardest part is definitely getting booked because it's hard to get people to message you back, even if you know them, even if you know them fairly well, even if you know that they saw the message. Right? It's still hard to get them to actually converse with you about it. And then beyond that, it's like being on the same page with the venue's a problem. Like, am I promoting or are you promoting? Because if I promote, you got to, somebody else has to promote the next night, and the next night, and the next night. But if you promote and I promote, and mostly you can build a regular crowd. I don't own a bar.
It's
so
difficult.
What do I know?
It really is. And tell me if you agree with this or not. I think as far as smartphones, social media, everything that goes, it makes it a little easier to promote things, but then at the same time, I think it takes people out of the real physical world. I think that it takes people away from going out to see a live show, going out to see live music, because they can pull up anything they want on the internet. Right. And watch whatever they want from home, and they don't really have to go out and have that one-on-one interaction. To me, there's nothing like going out and seeing a band. You know what I mean? You can't watch it on TV, and
the energy.
Yeah, there's no comparison. So what do you think about that? Do you think that it's helpful to have all these social media tools, or do you think it doesn't really help that much?
It's weird. So it does and doesn't help. Like, because nobody really knows who I am, basically. I want you to take pictures when I'm playing, and I want you to tag me in them and put them on Instagram and Facebook. I need that.
Yeah.
I need people to talk, basically. And there are artists who need you to go out and see the show and talk about it. And I'd love for you to have, it's a cover gig. You're just there to drink or whatever. That's fine. But, if it's like, something a little bit different, singer, songwriter night, whatever, I need you to talk about it, okay?
Right.
Because if you're not talking about it, nobody wants to listen to me talk about it, right? So, but at the same time, like Facebook promoting gigs, people go, well, you can't rely solely on Facebook. It's like, well, that's actually one of the few things people actually visit every day, Instagram, Facebook, maybe Twitter, I don't know. But the way the Facebook, algorithm works or whatever is if, within the first 5 or 10 minutes of your post, if, X amount of people have not liked your post yet, they don't show it to everyone.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So, if I post about my gig schedule, and like the first 10 people who see it go, okay, cool, keep scrolling, my other 350 friends don't know I'm playing.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And, I kind of was there a few weeks ago when I went out and did the whole meeting people, putting out physical posters, because that's what I was kind of asked to do. I did that. I did the Facebook thing. I paid $10 for the promotion on Facebook to show it to more people, and really it did not make any difference at all, because the people who came were my friends who would have came anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a really weird thing. If you're at the point where you haven't reached a certain level yet, where you have tons of backing and tons of support, it's kind of a hit or miss thing,
Absolutely.
So that's why we need things like this, where we're promoting ourselves, we're promoting each other, and I think that's a really important thing to do also. Okay, I want to touch on for a minute the fact that you are not just a singer-songwriter, you're not just a guitar player, not just a bass player, not just a keys player, but you're also a graduate of UA, all right? And tell us a little bit about that and how difficult it was, or how easy it was for you to get that degree while you're playing music every night.
It came in spurts, I guess. So I got an academic scholarship to UA and went and was a member of the Honors College, and a few other things, and graduated with like a 4.0. Whatever, it was great. A lot of people say that the English major is an easy major. I disagree.
I don't think there are easy majors.
I
in
agree.
college.
I don't think so either, and I think that people have a hard time quantifying it maybe, but it's definitely not easy. I did okay. I don't know what to tell you, but when I was a freshman and a sophomore, I mostly just studied, didn't go out much. And I didn't play a lot. I tried, but I was new in town and pretty young, looked young and whatnot. And I guess when I was a junior and a senior, I started gigging pretty heavily. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's right. So, I traveled to the beach, to Oklahoma and Arkansas and into Florida and and up into Nashville. Played a few dates there, and while I was in college, I'd have my books with me, and I wouldn't drive, right? So I'd be reading my books because that's what it takes. That's what it takes. It takes everyone else talking and you tuning them out and reading the books.
Right.
And I did that, and I filled in on weeknights here in town and loved it. But I got up and went to class.
Yeah, exactly. Just doing what you got to do,
You
right?
have to do the work.
Keep your eye on the prize. That's right. Okay, so a long-term goal. I just want to know, as far as songwriting or as far as performing solo or as far as being a guitar player, your long-term goal, I'm not going to ask a specific point in time, but what do you want long-term out of the music business?
I mean, long-term, I would like to support myself well. Only, writing or playing. My students are great, but it would be nice not to have to be, tied down every week at the same time to teach, which is, again, my students are wonderful. There's nothing against them. It's just the fact that if I have to travel to a gig, I have to rearrange everyone's lessons and screw up their schedule. And truthfully, it's detrimental to my students. Okay, and I know that, and I'm sorry for that. But I have to go out and make money.
Right.
So I have to go out and do some traveling. I'd like to do more traveling, but I'm single, so wink, wink. But I'm kidding. But so it's I don't have anybody to answer to about it. It's I'm going to be gone this weekend, and it's nobody's business but my own.
Right.
And my poor students, but.
Yeah. Well, I've often thought of how it would be to have complete and utter, and I know it's hard to say this because nobody really has this, but if you had all the time in the world to be creative and to work on your craft, to do what you need to do, go play your gig that night, and that be all that you had to do. I just, I think of all the things I could get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's life, and at this point, what you have to remember is that these artists who are going out and playing local gigs or going out on these runs, 3 or 4 states away here or 3 or 4 hours away there. These people, not only are they playing music, they're writing their music, they are supporting themselves online, they are booking their own gigs, they're actually playing the gigs. And they are financing all this by playing the gigs and also working other jobs. So it's way more involved than people might think. So kudos to you, for sure. So tell me how we can find you online. I mean, I really want you to make an album, and I want you to do it as soon as possible because I want it for myself. But if that's in the works, anytime, where can we find out about what's going on with you?
So I have a website with the greatest URL ever. So I'm Andy Branton. My website is andybranton.com.
Yeah.
So if
congratulations.
Exactly. Thank you. That's like nobody gets to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Unless they've got a record label backing them, they can afford to buy the domain.
Right.
But I got super lucky, I guess. I don't know. So I've got that website. On there, you can find out a more bio, basically about my professional life. I have some samples of some songs, some studio work I've done as a player, and I think as a producer, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I guess I should check on that.
Yeah.
Got that. I've got my gig schedules up there on live dates. I've got my gear list. So if you're wondering if I hire this dude, is he gonna show up ready to go? I've got a list of sort of the gear, and if you hire me for a studio session, an idea of what I would probably bring with me, depending on what you're looking for. And then I've also got a newsletter. So the newsletter is probably the best way to keep up with me because you don't have to go visit me. I will shoot, I won't annoy you, once, twice a month. I'll shoot you a little email, what's going on with me. You can tell me what's going on with you. We'll meet in the middle somewhere. when I'm, playing in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, around the Southeast, I would love to get together with people, that I know and that I've met and stay connected with them, have coffee, whatever. If you come out to the gig, don't come out to the gig, that's fine. I want to make friends with people. I want to engage you. That's what I want to do.
Right.
Because it's awful to be in a city or whatever playing, and you're tied down. You show up to the gig and you leave. Right? You meet nobody. You know no one.
Right.
So
it's basically like you weren't there.
exactly. It's like you weren't. That's true. It's like you weren't there. And I want to leave a lasting presence. Everywhere I go. Maybe that's a little narcissistic. I don't know, but I want to be remembered.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. That's all good things. Okay. Well, thanks for coming back and hanging out with us for a while. Andy's going to play a song for us before we leave. Do you know what you're playing?
No, I might
Not
do.
really?
I don't know. Not sure.
Are you going to write a song right here and
Probably not.
let us watch it?
Probably not.
No, we might try that one day when we've got a few hours, of free air time, I
Okay,
guess.
okay.
All right, so Andy Branton, go to andybranton.com. You can also look up Andy Branton on Facebook. I don't think there are very many of you. Maybe, I don't know,
And
but
I
he'll
look
be.
like this.
He looks like this, and he'll be holding a guitar.
And I post my gig schedule on there too. So
Right,
if
so
you're
you-
lazy and you don't want to go to the URL.
There you go. All right. All right, so we'll be right back with Andy's song called We Shall Find Out.
Star summer night without city lights. It's mama baking homemade apple pies. It's a hard work week and a Sunday nap. It's a local honky tonk with shine on tap. And it's a simple things. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. It's coming home to those smiling eyes, and the way she kisses me later at night. It's the way she tugs at my hand, and how none of this was planned. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. Sunday morning singing in the choir. It's a Monday night reading by the fire. It's the first smoke after a long work week. It's the feel of fresh linen sheets. It's the simple things. It's the simple things. It's a simple thing. Now I don't need a mansion on the hill, a wallet full of $100 bills. Got an old car and it runs just fine. And I've got your love all the time, all the time. And it's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. It's a simple